guys. This is game 2. We'll fix the scoreboard up here in just a second. This is Rifkin and Bad Fat Panda Cast of the Zotac Monthly Finals. It's spotted here in the top left corner of the map. He's red, he's Zerg, and he's up one game. It is Quantic.Hyun.
And his opponents was a bit cheesy last game. Unfortunately, got punished for it. Let's see if he can turn things around. Tie up the series. It is Western Wolves Arthur spawning as the Teal Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, I feel even if that had gone unscouted and exactly perfectly as planned, it's really hard to pull something off like that against a player like Hyun. Maybe your average GM, but not Hyun. He's a whole different player.
It was really iffy. I mean, if Hyun did not actually dedicate those additional Zerglings to his opponent's base, to the second wave after he had initially gotten cleaned up with the probes, think about it. Like he had 12 Zerglings in production. Okay. He just lost all of his Zerglings trying to kill a couple of Zealots, which he didn't even really take the shields down. And then he already lost all of his Zerglings in his opponent's base. If Hyun had played it a little bit safe and had just holed up in his base, Arthur would have gotten back into the game. He would have had a couple Stalkers out. He wouldn't have had to commit quite as early as he wanted to. Ideally, with that second push, you want at least 2 Stalkers there to be able to pick off your opponent's Queens behind all of the Zealots tanking everything. So it was really, really nice decisions by Hyun. Ended up taking that victory for him.
Belshir, though, I don't know. I personally hate this map, Panda.
I despise playing this map. I think it's a horrible map. But I really like watching games on it, especially versus Zerg. When you have Zerg involved in this matchup, there are so many different pass counterattack areas they can take, and especially the high-low ground. This constant dichotomy between like
so many
going down, and the sightlines too. It makes for some very entertaining games.
Yeah, the ramps in this, I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons with the different locations to engage. If you take the early game as a Protoss player, of course, Sentry's going to have a hard time forcing off these massive ramps, but there's enough chokes between them that you can actually start taking some positional advantages. But it's really difficult, I feel, that this is not a map where, you, like, take Ohana, for instance. There's so many chokes, you could abuse the heck out of Sentries there. Belshir, kind of the exact opposite.
Yeah. You really need to be frugal with your force fields early on. And we do have Cyber in base here for our Protoss player. He'll be going for an Phantom though. Meanwhile, Hyun playing out quite standard. We'll see. He's continuing to mine gas after his first 100. Or no. This is a relatively early gas to go for Roach Worm, potentially.
No, Arthur is the Mothership Core cranking out here. Full chrono as well, so, I mean, well, not full chrono, but using chrono.
Wait, never mind.
So.
The hell am I talking about? I thought he already had 100 gas mined. I don't even know what I was thinking.
I'm just trying to segue out of that, but Mothership Core beyond this really provides 2 cool options. One is, of course, to just go full offensive with it, do a little bit of harass here or there. There was a small period of time where players were actually going as far as to time warp the mineral fields, but it really just doesn't affect the economy that much to make it worthwhile. So the risk of losing your Mothership Core for one time warp, better spent almost just leaving it at home, and we do see Arthur doing that for the time being.
Yeah. I like this gateway positioning. So many times you see players put their forge up here in the wall, even after they've gone for this early Cybercore gateway in base on this map. And just roaches, they just pick that off so freaking easy. Stalker trying to kill an Overlord will not be successful.
That chasm.
We're trying though.
I hate it. Carbot has ruined StarCraft for me. Every time I see a ledge, I just expect something to die by falling off of it, even if it's a Stalker chasing an Overlord. Those little StarCraft animations are probably the greatest thing that have happened in the past year for StarCraft, in all honesty. I absolutely love it.
Recently?
Yeah, they did. They've been doing a lot of Season 2, or however you want to phrase it, started, so they've had a lot of little animations coming out.
Okay. I'll check those out today.
I wonder if that's just a one-man crew, because I know that's the one guy who does the animation, but come up with the ideas is always the most difficult part of anything creative, whether it's animating, sound stuff, intros, etc. But Hyun playing this very, I don't know, almost old schoolish, just keeping it safe, playing cool, getting some nice creeps spread out, not taking any big risks. Meanwhile, though, Arthur getting a Stargate, and in a really nice position too. He's been driving these Overlords out of the base for a long time. Hyun will not actually get in here to scout this for quite some time.
Yeah. On this map, you can kind of expect Stargate when your opponent is being as proactive with the Stalkers as he is. But the Mothership Core is actually taking quite a lot of flack from that Queen.
Yeah, we finally have that forward warp in. Arthur putting in another very bold pylon, even closer to the third, will allow him to continue advancing across the map, and these Queens cannot stop these Zealots.
Yeah, he will force a cancel here, regardless of what these Queens do. They're pretty much just tickling the Zealots.
Arthur had a small window there where maybe he could have tried to catch them off creep.
Oh my god.
Actually, let's finish. I'm a little shocked.
He won't have another... Yeah, he doesn't have another second transfuse ready quite yet, and...
This Mothership Core is also letting this pylon die. Arthur can pick these Zerglings off with the Zealot or with the Mothership Core. I'm not too sure what's going on here, Panda.
Dude, I'm so confused right now because...
Well, we made the joke earlier about, like...
A little bit, now it seems to be Arthur.
Well, we're talking about Johnny Rico stroking out of the keyboard. Maybe Arthur just did as well. I don't know. Phoenix now in the field, starting to clean up the Overlord, but with a Void Ray follow-up to this, I like this choice a lot, especially after seeing so many Roaches coming across the field. He can't really contend with what he has, with this army with what he currently has.
He has 2 more Chrono Boosts as well. Unfortunately, he supply blocked momentarily. This is actually going to cost him. He could have already had another Void Ray out at this point, but he couldn't use the Chrono Boost.
He's got force fields available. Zealot will finally go down, but doesn't really need to burn them.
Nice. Not even losing a pylon there, fun.
But I would love... Okay, this was something Arthur kind of did in the WT Major. I don't know if he's exactly gearing up for it, but he just kind of turtled in on 2 base, mass Void Ray. I'm not talking about the same game where he abused the Phoenixes. Completely different game. But I do like that he got that first Phoenix out to start clearing up the Overlords. This is almost like Terran, you know, getting that Viking out very quickly to just start stripping some of that map control away. But, you know, Void Rays, once they reach that critical mass, Hydralisks don't even deal with them effectively. Corruptors can't take them on very nicely. I mean, it's hard to deal with Void Rays once they snowball out of control.
Nice decision by Arthur to lift that one Roach so he couldn't get on there. And here come 2 additional Stargates. I really like Stargate play on this map, so especially against Zerg.
Yeah, when you take a 3rd base, you'll have the gas to sustain this. Of course, it's very difficult to do off 2. Hell, Void Rays off 3 is still just barely, but still 3 production, what he needs. Now, Hyun is getting the Hydra Den, and he's got the +1 ranged already on the way. But
yeah,
it's that scary thing where, like, with some sentries force filling off half of the Hydralisks, the Void Rays can take on Hydralisks pretty much head on.
Yeah, despite the fact that this is a huge map, most of the engagement areas don't allow, like, especially where Zerg would want to be pressuring, don't allow these huge concaves that really benefit Hydralisks, especially with the pretty high sentry count. You can really see a large amount of that range DPS being completely mitigated. And at this point, too, this is going to be very difficult for Hyun to come back into this. His 3rd, so freaking late. Like, he doesn't even have the gases saturated, and he's trying to get... I mean, he's trying to produce Hydras enough to defend against this 3 Stargate play. He really needs a couple minutes to himself to just macro up and get that 3rd saturated, potentially take a 4th, too, to come out of this.
Oh, man, you know, between Photon Overcharge and Time Warp, like, if he throws that 1 Time Warp and Photon Overcharge with these 4 Void Rays, he'll take on this fight, no problem, if he gets a defensive fight. But Hyun would just be absolutely foolish in my eyes to allow that to happen. But he is moving out.
He's going for a timing right now. I don't think he quite realizes what he's up against.
No, and this time he's not going to be good. But Arthur has not put that pylon down. He's got the Zealots. He's got probes ready to go for a Zealot run by, but he's not actually set up for it correctly. I think he's very, very focused on defending at home now. Checking the count, 3 more Void Rays about to join the fight, so there will be 9 versus 18 Hydralisks.
Queen actually coming to greet the Zealots. Actually, I have no idea where the hell that Queen is going.
Oh, I was just laying creep down.
Laying creep.
Okay, Zealots now in the mineral line. Hyun actually paying a lot of attention, pulls immediately. I love this too, just abandoning the ship for the time being, as he knows he can't really take this fight.
Yeah. I mean, he's been hitting his injects like mad. He's almost at full larva here on his macro hatchery, but he just can't.
This Overseer saw the 3 gates, but it hasn't confirmed all the Void Rays on the field. I'm sure Hyun knows there are Void Rays on the field, but there's no way for him to know just how many. We actually have a Nidus Canal coming out, Panda.
Oh no. And the Void Rays are actually going right past Hyun's fourth base, which he just placed down.
But that's still okay. It's kind of that critical number where it's not... He can just recall if he finds himself in a terrible situation. And actually confirming that all the Hydras are on the right side of the map, the eastern half of the map, these Void Rays are free to just push. And Arthur will most likely snipe off this layer and then just recall out.
Yep.
And if he does this, Hyun is going to be in so much trouble.
Decision. He's only leaving 1 Void Ray there, and he's going to... Oh.
He's going to deny that base while taking out this main one. Now there are queens here.
Queens and go straight for the layer.
Not even, it's just going to go straight for the layer. That overcharge, the prismatic overcharge, doing so much damage. Lair going down immediately, and we'll probably see a recall instantly. Bam! Fourth base will also be denied, if not cancelled. Such a nice tactical move out of Arthur. Just a surgical strike, to say the least.
Oh my god. In the meantime, the Hydralisks did actually end up picking off 3 Zealots as they were coming down from this forward pylon, so...
Oh, this base...
Him getting 2 for free, but really at the cost of his Lair.
He did cancel it. This Void Ray will go down to the Hydros, but he'll get the hatchery.
Oh my gosh. This is the second...
Void Ray
was not canceled
that really should have been, yeah.
Very rarely see this.
Alright, well, Hydros actually, this small number of Hydros are going to get picked off here if... Oh, God, yeah, just pulled him back. But here comes that Nidus Worm with that beautiful ping. Thank you, Heart of the Swarm. So, reinforcing Nidus Worm, this is pretty cool. He'll be able to get reinforcements across the field almost instantly. But will it be enough? Because, again, Arthur's going to have the advantage of Photon Overcharge. He's got enough sentries here that he can cut the army.
Hyun's taking this up with +2 in a very nice timing, but this is all in. If this doesn't win him the game, it's over.
Oh, those force fields put in a really nice position, actually. This Nidus Worm, of course, a huge donation of both minerals and gas. And I think Arthur's actually going to let it complete. Look at this, he's taking down these Hydros, no problemo. Queen's still popping out. And Arthur, like I said earlier, you reach that critical mass of Void Rays. It's just absurd. Hydros cannot contend with it.
The Queens are popping out like, wait. Shit.
Yeah, I don't want to be here. Really nice hold there out of Arthur for the cost of only, I believe, 2 Void Rays in that Mothership Core. I mean, he really did not lose much of anything. And Hyun just threw away his entire army.
That was it. That was everything Hyun had. He's continuing with carapace upgrades at this point. He's trying to drone up again, but really, what is he going to do? He doesn't have a 4th base at this point. He's given up complete and utter map control.
The Void, by the way, that Void Ray army, they owe their lives to those sentries. If those force fields didn't go off, he would have lost many more than he did. He wouldn't have lost the game. There's no way for Hyun to have pushed into that, but he would have taken such heavier losses. Now advancing across the map, Arthur, again, another base here that might be cancelled that should, yeah, Hyun actually cancels this one before it's even under attack. What the hell?
Nice decision by him. At this point he's just going to divert all of those minerals into units.
There's just no way for him to win this game, I feel. Like, there's just no composition Hyun can immediately go for. We've got Dark Templar coming behind this, and there's no Overseers on the field. So if by some miracle Hyun takes out these Void Rays, guess what? Dark Templar.
One thing I do like for Protoss to do in this situation is just get that charge upgrade. You already have the Twilight Council down. Just for charge lots to be a mineral sink. They're very effective against Hydralisks once you have those force fields in place.
Dark Templar already going at it, splitting off here to the main and the natural. Most of the army here at the 3rd. And these Hydras, don't take down these rocks! Arthur, don't take down these rocks! You want to bait him into the rocks! What are you doing? Arthur being absolutely crazy, but okay, I think he can afford to be like that. Again,
he has charge. What a boss.
The spawning pool is going to go down. He does finally have an Overseer in the main. Natural that has lost almost all of its workers before getting cleaned up. 29 workers killed.
Oh my gosh.
But here we go. Pushing in are these Void Rays. And we're going to see the army melt. The Queen's going down very quickly despite transfuses.
Nice force fields.
And this Arthur...
Segment the army. And behind this, the Hydras just don't stand a chance.
You know, Arthur definitely played a completely different game here in Game 2. And definitely deserves this victory. This will, of course, tie it up, bring it to an ace match, guys. I'm very excited to see Game 3 between these two players.